a sacrifice seduced for the altar of your vanity. A jealous, hungry God, craving praises of profanity. With bedroom dark and dine, and a deep mouth stained with wine, it drinks its fill. It was your mothers, not your brothers, that agreed to feed you poison. This egregious lack of choice indeed seemed fit to join your voice in, with lies disguised as prizes of reason and wisdom, with briberies of finery to weaken any criticism. Can the fly invade the blossom that devours it? A mouth that lies in wait for a gift of life to shower it.
All right, let's start that over. It's session 102. It is April 90 BC. Rome has suffered losses, several losses, as everything they've been able to do to keep from suffering even more. Their strategy so far in the Civil War has been to hold on to their territories as best they can while they gather strength to take back the ones that left. A law was just passed, and it's a very important law. The consul Caesar, Lucius Julius Caesar, proposed a law, and it was passed, that grants citizenship to all the allies who have not rebelled against Rome. That law was very swiftly agreed upon and passed. As a result, the festival that is happening tonight, as a matter of fact, during the day and for tonight, is incredibly important. It is the Latin festival of bond renewal. The more appropriate name would be the Latin Flaminis Festival. And the city is mostly partying. The consuls are out and about accomplishing their vow renewals that they have to do. They have to travel the land within the general vicinity. And Decius, as you have been conducting your own version of this festival, you feel a supernatural summons, a undeniable and incredibly powerful pull to leave your house. By the way, where is your domus? On what area of Rome, approximately?
Yeah, we never established that.
Okay.
Well, my, player knowledge about Rome is not good, so I'm instead going to give you the type of neighborhood I'm looking for.
Okay.
And just gonna let you decide.
How rich is Decius?
He has resources 5, so he's like as rich as it gets.
You have a domus on the Kellian Hill. That is in the southern-ish area of Rome. It is, as far as neighborhoods go, the Kellian Hill is as rich as it gets. It is where all the politicians and the super rich, wealthy landowners, they all have their places on the Palatine Hill. But a lot of them will have second homes here. And this is where you have rich marble and the most beautiful statues and gold. I mean, like, this is like, the Beverly Hills of the neighborhoods, right, of Rome.
Yeah. And I presume it will be a very safe place as well.
Well, Rome doesn't have walled-off neighborhoods, right? The rich live literally side by side, wall to wall with the poor. That being said, the poor have been pushed out as much as it's possible to push them out of this area. So, you don't usually have to worry about getting your house burgled and stuff like that. So there's still plenty of poor people who, are live in the cracks and the crannies of this area, in certain areas, but outside of your gates, you don't have to walk about with a force of 20 people to stay safe. So
Yeah.
a force of 3 people is usually fine.
Yeah.
Right. So you feel a supernatural pull summons to the north and the east, and it is it is so strong you must drop everything you're doing and go right now.
Okay. In that case, and just a quick question: is I know it's not Elysium, but the Princess Bathhouse, is it to the northeast?
It's more straight north.
Okay. So I'm going to, because my ghouls will be there, so I'm going to give a quick signal for them to follow me, and then I guess grab my toga or jacket, whatever it is that people take with themselves when going outside. Just grab it off the wall and leave with my 2 bodyguards.
Okay. You head out. The pull, you have to navigate the streets, and it's a steady compass. You leave the Kellyan Hill, down into the valleys, out amongst the poor and the decrepit, the sick. The weather is getting warmer now overnight. It's no longer dipping below freezing all the time. So not quite as many frozen dead bodies to step over. Of course, the streets are always busy, the sounds and smells of the busy city of Rome, which you're so accustomed to. It pulls you to the Esquiline Hill, towards the southern slopes, which you know to be extremely dangerous territory.
Does you have any knowledge about what kind of powerful kindreds might be living there?
Some of them have havens on the northern slopes, but you're getting, because of the geography of your house, the fastest straight line towards where it is pulling you goes straight through the southern, straight up the southern slope.
Okay. But
And it's strong enough that you cannot resist this. You are going to do it.
Okay. But any kindreds that I usually deal with, they don't happen to be around that place, right?
No. Southern slope is death.
Okay. This is interesting. Okay. Well, if I can't resist it, it's going to happen, so.
All right. You go straight through it. The southern slope is a huge olive grove. Lots of, and there's other trees mixed in, but it's held to be somewhat sacred in Rome. And if there's any area that's known to be werewolf territory, this is it. You are unbothered, though, as the summons continues to pull you and drag you, and you go up the southern slope, and you are pulled to the Temple of Minerva. The homing beacon of summons. As you get closer and closer to it, you feel more urgently, here, I'm being pulled here, to the Temple of Minerva.
Of Minerva. Do I know what kind of god Minerva is?
Diana. Greek Diana.
Okay.
Or, actually, I apologize, Athena. Minerva is the Roman equivalent of Athena.
Okay.
So, wisdom and warrior.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's see what awaits us.
There's a lot of ghouls that you recognize standing outside. A very large number of them.
Ghouls I recognize.
Yes. As you have your social circle, you have been to many vampires of the Scions. You have interacted with them on many occasions. And you kind of recognize by sight some of their strongest and best bodyguards. That they, their best ghouls and such. And they're all kind of milling around outside as you hurry through the crowd, up the steps, and in. And your own ghouls are also stopped. They cannot follow you inside.
Okay.
You get in, and there is a very large number of Scions, men and women on the Road of Kings, gathered inside the temple. There are torches lit, candles. The statues of Apollo and Minerva are wonderfully bathed in orange lamplight, reflecting the gold and silver ornaments. And everyone is sort of gathered in a semicircle. The back walls of the temple are bathed in unusual, unnatural shadow, as the La Sombra have gathered here as well. You recognize, like I said, many Ventrue, even a one or two Toreador, and dead smack in the middle, with several dead bodies at his feet, is Mithras.
Dead bodies, not
Yes.
Ash.
No, humans, dead bodies. Throats ripped out, drained of blood.
And people are circled around these corpses.
Well, they're circled around Mithras, who happens to be standing with corpses at his feet.
Okay. Do I hear murmurs?
A little bit, but you are just pushing through the crowd. Get the fuck out of my way. I have to obey the summons and make my presence known to make the summons stop.
Yeah, maybe not that disrespectful, but yeah.
So you shove your way through the crowd, and you look at Mithras, and you meet eyes, and he nods his head at you, and you feel the summons stop. He has acknowledged you. It was him.
Okay. I do some respectful motion.
He looks around, and he speaks to you all in Parthian. Do you speak Parthian?
Let me check my sheet. Where would that be? Where the heck did I write my...
I'm pretty sure you don't.
I honestly don't know where I wrote this languages I speak.
Yes, well,
Seems like I don't. Yeah, if it's not written, then I don't,
now you remember Mithras. He is a man of somewhat Persian-looking descent. He's very short, much shorter than you would expect. A man of his almost mythologic stature to be. He has curly dark hair that hangs to his shoulders. It seems to have been oiled and perfumed. He has come seemingly directly from the field. So he's still wearing field appropriate attire for traveling. But he is nonetheless clean, bathed, and he is armed with a blade that has obviously seen battle and yet is still very decorated. You can see gems in the hilt. And he speaks in Parthian, and about half the crowd, maybe a little more, kind of gets blank looks on their faces. And he switches to Greek.
Okay.
And he looks
I think
disgusted by having to do this. Let's say that.
I think we established that I can speak the Roman and Greek. So
He begins to address the whole crowd. He says, first off, he says, "Are there those among you who do not speak at least this halfway civilized language?" And you guys
I
all
look
look around, and everyone seems to be doing the same thing. So it would appear that at least everyone in here speaks Greek.
someone is too ashamed to reveal it.
Well, they wouldn't know what he's saying. He's relying on you to out them. So, at very least, if you know of anyone who doesn't speak it, nobody's pointing them out.
Okay.
And he kind of puts his hands on his hips and looks around. And he says to you all as a crowd, "Who here among you believes you are worthy of rulership?" There's a lot of murmuring going on. A lot of people nodding yes. How about you?
Yeah, I will nod.
Right. So yeah. Lots of murmuring, and he goes, "Okay." He begins wandering through the crowd and picking people seemingly at random. He grabs somebody. He says, "What have you done to save Rome lately?" And the guy's like, I paid money to so and so, and I support our patron portray, and I do this." And he's like, clearly not enough. Walks on, picks the next guy. Walks on, picks the next guy. And he stops in front of you and he says, "Who here among you has led in arms against these rebels?" And he looks dead straight at you, looking for an answer.
Sorry, can you repeat that question, Chris?
Says, "Who here among you has picked up arms to lead against the rebels?"
Okay. Decius, I mean, if he is looking at me that straight, I guess Decius will say, without too much detail, of course, he will say, "I have my client directly involved with investigating."
He slaps you across the face with his backhand. Just backhands you straight across the face.
Okay.
It hurts, but it's more a blow to your pride.
Yeah, I accept the title.
And he looks around at the rest of you. He says, "I did not ask who had their patron or who had their clients, who had their ghouls take up arms. I asked who led by arms." And there's a lot of head hanging going on. A lot of embarrassment. He grabs somebody else and he goes, "You! Do you uphold the history of Rome and its great men? Do you uphold the talents and the men who've proved their right to rule by putting down the enemies of Rome personally?" And he grabs somebody else. "How about you? And how about you?" And he's steadily getting more and more disgusted. Then he returns back to the center and he looks back. He says, "Those armiger of our scions, those who have faced no true challenge, step forth in front of me."
Yeah. Okay. Guess I'm gonna step forward as well.
You step forth there's at least 40 kindred here, and a good a good 15 step forward, including you. And he says to all of you, you are hereby challenged. If you would prove that you are truly a scion, that you deserve to rule, that you have earned it, then you will earn it. If you do not each take a bag of heads from the rebels personally, I will wall you up and use you as the foundation for the new temple to be built when this is over. And he looks dead straight at... Well, he seems to look dead straight at all of you. He can't physically do that, but it seems like he is. What's your reaction?
This is definitely like in inside he's like, oh, this sucks, kind of.
Then he waves at all of you to step back.
Okay.
Then he calls out to the next rank to step up. And I have to look that one up for a second.
You said principles.
The principales. The principales step up. And several shadows detach themselves from the wall and flow forth and then form, including Albinus' sire, Amelia. So you recognize the Scourge. So several Lasombra and another few Ventru step up. And he looks at all of them and he says, Amelia, Pilus Primus, I recognize and have been told of your extreme efforts to support and obey the first citizen of Rome. I hereby elevate you to the rank of tribune of the Scions, and we will support, all of us will support your bid to be removed of the title of Scourge, to be passed on. And she bows to him in a Persian fashion and expresses her thanks in Parthian. Then he looks at everyone and he says, if you are not a tribune or a consul, you are hereby dismissed.
Cool. Time to leave.
I think you should make a intelligence and politics roll.
Okay.
Now, you know what? Let's scratch that. Make a road score roll. Roll your road rating.
Okay.
No. Okay, yes, you listen to him and you leave.
Okay.
As you're leaving, you hear him begin to light their asses up about nobody stepping up to lead the Scions while he was gone. He lights their ass on, metaphorically speaking. Uses his words to light their asses on fire as you're walking out the door.
Okay. A lot of anger. So I'm going to take my 2 ghouls, return to my haven, and immediately I'm going to get in contact with my
You're leaving?
Nosferatu.
I need you to roll a d100, please.
Okay.
You want to roll over a 25.
Okay. Can I try to do something?
What's that?
Is bunch of scions are leaving the temple together. Do I know if any of these kindreds live around the same neighborhood as me?
I don't know. That's a good question. But a lot of them don't publicly disclose where their haven is. So, if I roll over a 75, then you know of at least one who's generally lives next near you. Okay, no, you
Okay.
don't.
Okay. I was just going to, if that was the case, I was going to ask if maybe I could approach with the idea of, hey, let's travel together and talk, kind of thing.
I figured, and that was a really good idea. But there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so 1d100. Okay.
All right, everyone's in too good of a mood to bother with you tonight. You make your way back
Okay.
unmolested.
Great. I'm going to get in contact with my client Shag. I'm
Okay,
going to
how
summon
do you
him,
do that?
essentially. Yeah, so I don't like to randomly summon people if it's not immediately necessary, because I don't know if they are doing something very important at the moment, and I don't want to disturb them if that's the case. So I assume that we will have some established communication that might take some nights to happen, complete its purpose, but is rather, reliable. So I will have that kind of communication set up.
Okay, about once a week he would swing by your place. I would think is about at least once a week.
Yeah, at least for the purpose of giving me a report of his, progress, he will definitely do that.
All right, well, pick a number 1 to 7.
From number 1 to 7, let's see.
Just
Let's
give me a
say
number.
5.
Okay, no, he's not coming tonight.
Okay. Is he coming in 2 days?
Yep.
Okay. That's fine. Then we will wait 2 days.
All right. Let's see. Is Labiana on yet?
I'm here.
Awesome. Let's go to Albana and Labiana. The two of you know that tonight's festival is quite important. You know that your cult has been on edge without Nicodemus and without Hatshepsut. It has been very difficult to assuage their fears. Keep in mind, these people don't really know theology. They know what you've told them. They're not exactly literate, and they're not masters of religion. So everything you've done has so far assuaged their fears, but there's a couple of women who are pregnant, and they're getting ready to give birth. Some of the festivals have not been officiated well because you have been very busy with your own struggles. And they're starting to lose faith. They're beginning to look at other areas, to other cults, to help give them shelter and to help them take care of their immortal souls. So tonight is important because if you pull it off very well, you will have completely satisfied them for quite a while. If you mess it up, then the cult is going to begin abandoning you very swiftly.
No pressure.
Yes. In regards to preparing a festival, could perhaps we also work with Alexander, perhaps arrange some kind of artistic festival? Perhaps work with him to arrange some artistic troops to perform plays about the goddesses.
Yeah, he can give you some recommendations of people to, some troops and stuff to bring forth. You have some of Nicodemus's plays yet that he has written. that he wrote for the cult. So I don't see why you guys couldn't bring a troop on board. Let's see how well they've done to prime the pump, as it were, in terms of using Nicodemus's plays.
Which festival was it again?
This is a minor festival that not a lot of people have heard of. It's essentially a festival of bond renewal. They're called the Latin Flaminis. Basically, it's a formality whereby government officials renew the bonds of alliance and citizenship once a year. But because of the nature of bond renewing, this seems to be a fantastic opportunity to renew their faith in your abilities and your commitment to their well-being. All right. What? Let's see. If they get at least 3 successes, I will give you an extra dice for your roll. Well, for a couple of rolls, anyways.
Okay.
And they did. How about that? I say 8, 7, 8. You're good to go. All right, so you have took some of Nicodemus' stuff out of storage, hired a decent acting troupe, and they did a pretty damn good job performing the material they were given during the day. They've got them primed up. They're feeling pretty good. They spent some of the cult money, and there's a nice feast laid out that they have all eaten very well. They've cleaned the whole place, and they are ready for you to come out and give the speech and administer the festival.
Okay.
Alpna will come out, have prepared some ceremonial garb for herself. She's going to be preparing. Would Labiana join her for the speech, or is that something?
I mean, that's up to you two. That's you need to give a speech about Labiana's new roles that she's stepping up, and kind of what you guys are planning to do, and how to maintain the faith and such until
Until
That you got-
Hatshepsut has returned.
that
Yes.
you are. I would assume you're going to phrase it as something about you are going to undergo a spiritual journey to pull the spirit of Hatshepsut back from Tartarus, back from the underworld, and that she may once again rise and resume her duties. Something. You're going to pull out some pseudo-religious bullshit out of your ass, and
Something to that effect. But yeah, so probably a good idea then that Labiana actually, will stand beside Orbina.
all right. So,
And
go ahead.
I'm wondering if it's also a good idea to activate Ore for this.
Yes, I would absolutely say it's a good idea.
If
Set
she
the bu-
steps
roll charisma and performance to activate all. Diff 7, please.
Okay.
Fortunately, worst case scenario, she botches, and that just means everyone's immune to it. So,
Yeah, pretty much. Charisma, performance.
Your flows don't change the difficulty, right, for presence.
this is
Did
a
you say
set.
it was
This is a set difficulty.
It was Diss 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You affect one person.
At least that one person is sticking.
Albina she come forward on the stage alongside Labiana. Has a kind of model smile on her face. She looks at the gathered cultists. Before she motions with her hand toward Labiana as she begins to speak. Sisters, children of the goddesses. Today, I like to present you. I like to present the elevation of Mother Labiana to the position of life giver of a cult. She will be preparing herself to. She's preparing herself. She's ready. She has prepared herself and is now ready to take up the role of rebirth and spring, of the beginning of the cycle, and to serve it faithfully, just as she has served faithfully, putting to rest the souls of her dearly departed members. From tonight onwards, she'll be the one in charge of taking up the role of ensuring the safety and health of your newly born children as they are as their souls are coerced into this material world of ours, and of ensuring your own safety during such process, so that your soul does not depart early to the gates of Tartarus before it is ready, before it has fulfilled its purpose on Earth. As believe you are all well aware, our dear mother Hatshepsut has found herself needing to battle the forces of Tartarus, the forces of the underworld, after her after their own toll that bringing such young, vigorous, and that's vitality for someone that's full of vitality. Um, Young, vigorous, and healthy children into this world has sapped her strength, and now she's needing to do battle with the forces of the underworld that seek to restore the balance in her. It will be a while until the balance within her has been restored and she wants again ready to take the role, the life bringer of a cult. But until that time comes, I like you all to place your faith on Mother Labiana, just as you have placed your faith on Hatshepsut.
Okay, I need you to make two rolls. The first roll is going to be a charisma and theology roll. The difficulty is 13 minus your theology score.
That would be 11.
Ooh. Okay.
So that's
can't help.
difficult 10
So that means
and
diff
one
10. Yeah.
and
I
one
say I can help in
success.
this, can I?
You cannot.
Can I use a willpower?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I'm going to do so. One
Okay,
success.
your argument is vaguely convincing. It's somewhat in line with the stuff you've told them before. Now you get to make a charisma and expression roll to give the speech that you have given. You will add a bonus dice for the plays. And this is all straight you. So, diff 6. Enchanting voice applies, so I think that makes it difficulty 4. Some of them look convinced. Make another effort. Can you give me anything else?
Can I use another willpower?
No, but I will let you roll at diff 7. This is a make the same roll, charisma and expression, difficulty 7.
And the one from the play.
No, this is just your straight. Okay. You see that you're losing some of the crowd, and you reach deep within yourself, and you find one more burst of inspiration to reel them back in. You again extol the virtues of starting off life with someone who has, as you and Labian had discussed this extensively, someone who knows death and therefore can also give you the great start of life. And you relate her to Persephone coming forth from the spring and coming away out of the underworld and bringing forth life with her, and so on and so forth. And
Bringing
yeah,
bringing the babies out of the womb, like Persephone is brought out of Tartarus.
right, exactly. So you do eventually look like you've brought them around. You feel that you could probably leave for a year, and they'd be okay. But you don't really want to spend more than that long away from the cult. But for at least for another year or so, you've delayed them leaving you.
I have to arrange some kind of like yearly festival like this, just to keep them coming back.
And we have
At
to.
least until
Right.
Hat comes back.
Now, while you guys are doing that, you have the cult with you and everything. As you have finished giving your speech, and everyone is cheering and crying and clapping, and they're falling on the remnants of the feast. I need both of you to make perception plus alertness rolls.
Uh-oh.
Someone is spying on you to get you killed.
No,
Wow,
nothing,
hey.
nothing. Holy shit. All right. So, about half an hour goes by, and suddenly, one of the participants are getting ready to go to bed, and they open up the door in the corner, right, to go up the stairs, and smoke comes pouring in, and you hear, "Oh, holy shit! Oh my God! By all the gods of Rome, fire! Fire!"
Oh shit, Kultaven is burning?
So they're up here in this corner, right? They open the doors, and smoke comes pouring up out of the steps. It's coming out of the basement.
Oh shit!
I was gonna say that's a very good question, actually.
Where do we keep the body of Hatshepsut?
She's not
I
here.
imagine-
You guys left her walled up inside of a cave.
What?
No, wait a minute. No, you sent somebody for her, didn't you?
Yes,
I don't know. Where do you keep the body of Hat?
I imagine we kept her in her room within their coat.
So there are 2 torpid bodies down in the basement, which,
Yes,
yeah.
What's the second torpid body?
my child.
What? Why is she doing it?
Well, Gregorius.
Gregorius is not torpid. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Right. So Hatshepsut and Albanus Childa are both stored down there, and smoke is coming out of the basement.
Shit.
I mean, I suppose we should go and take a look.
Oh, definitely. I'll jump into action.
Right.
Just
I mean,
running to the basement.
Right. So this is not darkness. This is literally stuff is you just can't see through. So you are mostly blinded. Do you have auspex?
I have level 3.
Okay. La Vienna, you are at a -2 on your rolls down here as you stumble in. Now you are both very familiar with the layout of the cellar. It's very simple. It's a open area with arches, and there's 5. Like there, you go down the steps, and there's a hallway that makes like an L-shaped hallway, and so the hallway would go starts here, goes down to the stage, and the stage is that's got the trapdoor access here where you would rise up mysteriously during performances, and then it goes straight down this direction, right? And then it splits off into 5 chambers. You stumble down in, and one thing you definitely know is there's not a lot of flammable material down here. So that's the good part.
Okay.
You explicitly built it like this to keep people from burning you out of your haven, right? So you notice that the only things that could be on fire is what's down here. So somebody down here set stuff on fire, and
Sabotage.
you need to
So
stop
they- so
it
they
before it
possibly-
spreads to the floor above you, before it
So they
actually catches
possibly
the floor
brought-
on fire.
They possibly brought flammable stuff down here and set it alight.
Or they took the stuff you had in storage, the barrels and the documents and the clothing, and lit it all on fire.
Oh, that too. Also, I'd imagine before we raced down, we probably told all our human followers to evacuate.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't know if we had any
ooh,
kind of
evacuate.
plan. Like,
I mean, better
Well,
to
you
tell
know-
them to get some help to put out the fire than just abandon the
That-
place.
Yeah, nobody gives a
that
shit.
too, yeah.
You're gonna have to your followers are gonna. I'll tell you what. I will give you guys a wits plus. Ooh. What's a good roll for knowing that nobody's gonna come to your rescue? You got to save your building yourself.
What's a good roll for that? Survival? That sounds pretty much survival, man.
Sure, survival or legerdemain.
Yeah, I was thinking legerdemain too, but
You take your pick. Wits and survival or wits and
I mean-
legerdemain.
either one works for me.
Yeah, same for me.
There you go. Don't even make a roll. Albana, you rush down and you start shouting orders. You, and you're like pointing, like you and you. Oh, go gather everyone from upstairs. You and you, go get the buckets. Go grab the water. Get the fountain. Start bucket brigades. Go! Like you start shouting as you are going down the steps. So trying to organize people to be get the water in here now. So there you go. Yeah, sending them out would be sure it would save the people, but your whole building would probably
Yeah.
burn down.
Yeah.
All right. Onwards. You rush down into the basement.
Direction fire?
I imagine that a good thing to do would be to shed our clothes at this point. Would not want to be catching fire on them.
Yep. I would imagine you
starting to
guys have
rescue.
water barrels in quite a few little stash spots down there. Little small ones, right?
I believe they are used for the rituals for some of the.
Yeah. Cleansing
Ritual.
water and stuff like that. Sure. I can see
Yeah.
that. So you guys stop, upend the water barrel over yourselves real quick. Albana, you have more than enough strength to lift those things over your head. And then you look down the main hallway, the central hallway that extends the length of the building, and La Biena, need you to make a perception and alertness or perception and survival roll to see where the smoke's coming out of. Remember, you're at -2 dice.
Yep. Give me a sec.
And do apply Auspex, because I would assume that you're going to activate Auspex.
I mean, she would want to, but my question is, would it be a good idea?
I think so.
Especially with Rage.
I think it'd be...
Now, it'll be the same roll either way, so... Okay, so... What's that gonna mean? So, 4 dice... Difficulty 6 plus 2. So if I add Auspex,
+1 dice, -1 difficulty.
5 dice, difficulty 7, right?
No, it's diff 6, but you're down 2 dice.
Yeah, so I added the 2.
Yeah.
What, down 2? Yeah, well, I added the 2, and then you said -1 for the Auspex?
-1 difficulty.
Yeah, -1 difficulty.
Correct.
So diff 7.
That's diff 6. So diff 5. Do you not have alertness?
Yeah.
So why'd
I
you
figured
increase the
no.
difficulty? You're at -2 dice, not +2 difficulty.
Oh shit, -2 dice. Alright, so that'd be 2 dice then. At diff 5. Here goes nothing.
I don't know why I said
hang
0
on.
successes,
No,
but
no, it's okay. I used the wrong symbol. It's okay. So technically, that's 2 successes.
you're good to go. You see 2 things simultaneously. The smoke is pouring out of Nicodemus's chambers, his old chambers, which is now used for storage. And your pit trap, where the girls you had were stored, the kids, is open.
Oh, okay. I think I know what's going on here. So she's firstly going to sort of peek around into.
So are you going to head in that direction?
Well, yeah.
Okay, I need
I
a
was just
courage
trying
roll.
to decide which room to start approaching first. Let's see. What diff?
You are headed into an area that's producing a lot of smoke, and you can actually begin feeling the heat from where you're at. So we're going to say diff 6 at the moment.
Okay. She's not going to get too close, but... Oh. She's going to see how close she can get without... Yeah.
Yes, and also, I would like you to make a road score roll for me
Okay.
at the difficulty 4.
You said diff 4, yeah?
Yep. Awesome. For an experience point, give me 2 sins that you would violate by running away at this time. For an experience point towards your road,
Hold on. I've
which
got
sins
my-
would be driving you right now to fight this fire from your road, your new road?
Okay. The don't know about that one. Something about destroying irreplaceable sources of knowledge.
Yeah, don't you think there's copies of his books and scrolls in here that you might want to save?
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. And Albina,
Yes.
uh, eh, yeah, I'm not seeing anything on your path where this would help drive you to fight, unfortunately. So it's just pure selfishness and stubbornness driving you here. All right, Labiana, you approach carefully. Albina, are you following?
Albina is going for the reliquary where she stashed the body of her child.
All right. I will need a courage roll of difficulty 4 for you because you are not getting too close to the action. So I would think you established it in your own chambers.
Fuck. Can I use willpower to hold it back?
Yes, I will let you spend a willpower to just you start edging forward, and mind you, you can't see anything, right? You're like, for the first
Yes.
time, basically for the first time ever for you, you've literally, except unless you were in somebody else's obtenebration darkness, you have never been blind before. And I can definitely see where this would be like just so panic inducing to you that the beast is like, this is new. I don't like this. You're being stupid. You're edging into fire. What the fuck are you thinking? You gotta get the fuck out of here. And you just gotta, everything it takes to tamp it down and be like, no, no, my child's over there. Fuck you. I'm gonna go see.
Even when she was in the obtenebrations of other Las Sombras, it still was a darkness from the abyss. It still had that sense of knowing that it came
Familiarity.
from something. Yes.
So you stumble into your room, and your child's body is still in there. What do you do?
She's going to grab it.
Okay, you grab it and begin dragging her out of there.
Yeah, putting it over one of her shoulders.
Okay,
and
you pull out and run out of there. You get for free. You are up out the steps, and by the time you get out, you see people beginning to bring buckets in.
Can she also try to go into Hatshepsut's room and try to get Hatshepsut before she goes out?
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. 1, 2, and 3 are along the bottom. 4 and 5 are top. Okay, 4 would be top middle, 5 would be top right. 1, 2, and 3, bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. So first I'm going to roll where's Nicodemus' room. It's not going to be 1, so if Roll20 will catch up for me at any point in time, I might have to get my regular dice out. It's a 2. All right.
2.
So Nicodemus's room is bottom middle down here. We're going to say Albina's room is number 1 down here. So where's Hatshepsut's room? So it's either a 3 or 4 or 5.
Where are you guys looking at the rooms? I don't see any room.
There's no rooms on the screen. You just kind of imagine they're down there. Do, 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 do. A 3. Okay, so Hatshepsut's room is, if you imagine it's up underneath here, it's in this corner. So you have to pass the fire first. Are you
She's
going to do that, or are you going to rescue your child first and then go back?
she's going to rescue her child first.
Okay. You rescue your child. You get up there. You smell of smoke. You can actually see the heat beginning to buckle the floor up here as the fire is getting worse, and you see people are beginning to throw water on that wood, and you see they're getting ready to run downstairs and start bucket brigading down there, and you see the boy whose spirit you thought you had broken looked at you carrying the body, and realizes that you didn't even look at him. You didn't do anything about him. You just, fuck it, I'm gonna go rescue my favorite here, and he takes off running. He leaves. He runs outside.
That's going to be troublesome.
So you've got a choice. You can follow him, or you can assist in putting out the fire.
She's going to be following him.
Okay. He runs, but you have the power of the blood. You have the beast, and some dirty sons of bitches just tried to burn down your haven with your child in it. You're gonna catch him. He gets 2 or 3 blocks down, and you drop in front of him in all of your shadow majestic glory. And he peels right to a stop, like slides to a stop, looking at you. Now, there's people around you. Homeless people sleeping in the streets, people working, trying to get their stuff ready for the day, the upcoming. So with that in mind, what do?
She's going to kneel down next to him. She's going to try to envelop him into an embrace, into a hug. And she's going to be crying, pretend sniffing, pretending as if she's happy that he's there. Putting on the facade that she did not completely ignore him, that she's glad that she actually cares about him.
His spirit breaks almost immediately. The fact that you caught him so quickly just takes it right out of him. He saw an opportunity, he took it, and he was wrong. You have broken him, and he made an attempt to run, but obviously was unsuccessful. So you are able to drag him back, basically. He kind of bows his head and follows you. Spirit once more broken. The brief little spurt of fire you have doused and quenched thoroughly. Labiena, as Albina takes off after her wayward recruit, you force yourself up to the door where Nicodemus's stuff was, and you see it is very much have been lit on fire. Flame is spreading along the roof, where it was the roof would be wood, and a great number of his belongings have already been burnt to ash. But there's still some stuff that's flammable and burning, obviously. What is your action?
Now, is she beginning to see some of the cult members coming down with buckets of water already?
You can hear voices and banging, and especially with your Auspex hearing on. So you definitely hear the shouting and stuff. But it's only been a few moments since you came down here, so it's going to take them another 30 seconds or maybe a minute to begin reacting with water.
Yeah. Does she know of any other water that may be stored down there somewhere?
Not much. I'm going to need another courage roll from you. This one is going to be difficulty 8, as the flame is searingly hot. You can feel it crisping what's left of your skin on your face. And in fact, it's even creating its own breeze, lightly blowing. You can kind of sucking your garments in towards it.
Excuse me.
I am going to reduce this by your road score. So if you have a road of 3, it's going to be diff 5. You are inspired by your newly adopted road. This is a chance for you to prove your conviction.
Okay, let's see how we go. I was just about to say, or ask if spending a willpower was going to be possible, but I think I will leave that at this point, this juncture.
You
Let's
could
just
spend
see
a
how we
willpower
go.
if you want, but that's up to you.
Too late.
Awesome. You rock that courage roll. You just look at it and you're like, no, not tonight. This ain't happening.
She knows what she's got to do.
Yep. You grab whatever sources of liquid you can find down here, and you start splashing it, and you run in and you grab the first couple of things you can grab that aren't on fire, and try to pull them out of the room. So you do that a couple of times, shielding your face from the flame. You can feel the beast within you like, no, you stupid bitch, get the fuck away from this shit. What the hell are you doing? This shit's going to kill you. And you're like, yeah, my knowledge is more appropriate. Shut up. Grab more,
Exactly.
pull it out. Grab more, pull it out. After about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, where you've done this 3 or 4 times, just kind of grabbing and reaching at arm's length, grabbing whatever you can grab and yanking it and running out of the room. The first couple people come down bearing buckets and start running and start and you can actually see them run down. Oh, like they fall back at the heat, and they're beginning to cough real bad. Oh God! The smoke is already getting to them. You don't, of course, don't have to breathe.
No, well, I was going to say at one point she might actually offer to grab one of the buckets from one of the people and send them back upstairs to grab more in order to try and help them. And
Awesome. Yes, great idea.
throwing water.
So, unfortunately, because they can't stay down there because of the smoke, it slows the efforts down. We're going to make a group roll. Labiana, how much? We're just gonna do your courage dice because that seems like a good dice pool to use, and we're gonna do a combined roll. So there we go, 15d10. Let's say they need 30 successes in less than 10 rolls at difficulty 8 to put the fire out.
Okay.
That's not good. I need you to keep track of that for me. So that's 2 successes.
2, 3. Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So many ones. Bloody hell.
I know. That's awful.
1, 2. So we're working on diff 6, right?
Diff 8.
Oh,
So that's
diff
2
8.
more
Okay,
successes.
That changes things.
Yep.
Yeah. So 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We need to average 3
Six,
successes
2.
per roll. That's better. That's 4 successes.
I'm actually finding it hard to keep track.
4 more.
personally.
That's 8, 10, 12 out of... Now, I only got 10 rolls to do this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4... You got 12 successes on 4 rolls. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There you go. 18 on 5 rolls. $19, $20. 21 on 6 rolls. So 4 more rolls, you gotta get 9 successes.
Three
3.
successes.
3 more rolls,
6
and you need
more.
3 successes on each roll. Or 6 successes, right?
Mhm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 5. Well, I need 1
5.
more. And you got 2
One more
rolls to get it.
success. There it
I
is.
think they put it out. All right, easily takes an hour of constant work, running the buckets back and forth. People are falling down, passing out from smoke inhalation. Labiena is like a woman possessed, grabbing people, dragging them out of the way, throwing them out of the way, grabbing more people, running them down, proving that she is in no way at all afraid of death. She is putting her own life on the line to put this fire out. Throwing bucket after bucket after bucket of water. And finally, after an hour of work, the entire cult is just soaked in sweat, coughing, puking from the effort, from the smoke. The entire contents of the room, what's left, is completely ruined. The flooring needs repair, but the fire is out.
Who's hat?
Labiena, make a conviction roll at difficulty 4.
Okay. Oof. That's right, because I only had 2 dots.
Yeah, that's rough. A 4 and a 1. Well, you still earned an experience point towards your road, so you definitely did learn, or conviction. I'll let you spend it on either one. You had an opportunity to earn 2. Unfortunately, didn't quite get it.
That's alright.
But you
So
definitely
I've got
showed
support.
no fear of death here. None at all. You definitely proved that knowledge here was more important, that you weren't going to let this go. Now you have some revenge on your mind to take care of.
Yeah,
if
she's
you
got
decide to
some.
do that.
She's got something. She's got someone else to check up on.
Hatshepsut's
But
fine.
yeah,
Body's
I was gonna say, I'd
undisturbed.
imagine we would have made sure Hatshepsut was okay in all of that.
So it came down to the wire, but the building and everybody in it was saved. Your cult is
That
very happy with you. They have seen that they put their faith in the right quote unquote people. So they have become very, very somewhat a little more fanatical than they were at the beginning of the day. Now, while you guys congratulate yourselves and you take a very well-deserved pat on the back, Astartes.
Okay.
You are out and about doing your own thing, and a woman approaches you. You've seen her before. Her name is Elise of the Toreador. And she's pulls you aside. She says, "Do you have a few moments to speak?"
Okay. With what may I help you?
Well, it's the other way around. It's about me helping you here. We spoke a few months ago about your poor clanmate, Golzar. May he rest in peace. And I talked to you about who may have been wishing to ill to him, Do you recall this conversation?
Yes, I do. I would like to apologize because last time we spoke, I was not in the right frame of mind. So I behaved rather rudely that time. And I'm sorry for that.
Well, honeyed words will get you nowhere, but a night out on the town, I think, would be an appropriate apology. We can worry about that later. I have some information for you. I have been asking around, and some of my contacts have come back to me with a couple of disturbing rumors that I felt you might wish to check out.
And what is this information going to cost me?
For me to give it to you, it costs nothing. I would not be so naive as to think that you think I'm not getting anything out of this. And if these rumors happen to be true, and you check them out and do something about them, then of course I will profit by it. But if they happen to be false, then in either case, I am not at fault for what happens.
Okay. Tell me about these rumors that you heard.
Well, Golzar, as you know, was very attached to his human side. And it came about that there were two of the Ventru with whom he has had some words. The first was Valerianus. Valerianus has a number of Ludi, gladiator schools, and Golzar could not bear to witness some of the abuse that happened at these schools. And Valerianus, for his part, at several points publicly rebuked him for interfering in another's domain and threatened to have him punished for it. The second rumor that I've heard is that a Ventru by the name of Alethea was in a rivalry with him about falcons. Golzar was very keen on his falcon training, and in fact had made a few friends amongst the Gangrel with it for his appreciation of their beauty and grace. But there's a Ventru named Alethea who had a rivalry with him over falconry. I can tell you, you will not need me to find Valerianus, but Alethea has a domain of the at the Temple of Diana on the Aventine Hill. So you may take that for what it's worth, for if you wish to use it or not.
I thank you for this information. But if I were to ask you, who would you believe would have the most cause to harm Golzar? Valeronians or Aletia?
Going about it in the manner in which they did, I think both of them did, but because Alethea, it would be beneath them to engage in a public fight. And to do so, and if they attempted to do so publicly and lose, would be even worse. Alethea, of course, trained under the tutelage of Artemis of Orthia, Artemis Orthia. And a prideful Ventrue she was.
But as far as you have heard, how deep did her resentment go with Golzar? Because it's hard to
I,
believe that
I
she will
can't.
just.
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't answer that question. I'm cannot speak to the private thoughts of these Ventrue. I can only pass on to you the information that was passed on to me. That each of them had reason to see Golzar suffer.
I thank you for this information, and I will see how we'll proceed further with this.
Right.
But once again, I thank you.
Astartes, I need you to roll your wits and enigmas.
Div 6?
Yes. Awesome. You recall you had a vision that we talked about, and Artemis Orthia was a renowned huntress. And there are many stories that of the goddess she took her name from hunting deer and stag.
So, with that vision in mind, I think I will take that path. I'm gonna investigate the Ventrue.
I mean, they're both Ventrue, so you got to be more specific.
The Alethea? I forgot her name.
Yeah, Alethea, her name is. So, how are you going to go about this investigation?
I think I'm gonna start closer to home. I'm gonna get as much information on her as possible. So I think I'm going to Decius, see what I can find about her.
Ah, excellent choice. Astartes, roll me a D100. You want to roll over a 25. Excellent. You also walk the streets with impunity tonight. You're a big bodyguard at your side. You head down and through the twisted streets of Rome, through the crowds and the smoke, to the Acheloan Hill, up the streets, and find yourself in front of the Domus of Decius. Go ahead.
I'll announce myself at the door and see if I can speak to Decius then.
Decius, one of your servants comes in, says, Dominus Decius, there is a visitor at the door to see you. He has introduced himself as a Astartes.
Ah, interesting. Send him in my workroom, please.
At once, Dominus. Astartes, you are escorted in with courtesy, and in accordance with Roman hospitality. You're allowed to wash your feet off of the dirt and grime and muck of the streets, dried off. They offer you wine and bread and cheese, and show you as directed into Decius's area, his workroom.
Astartes, please come, sit. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How have you been, Decius?
Ah, the usual stuff. Nothing of importance, really. Are you hungry? Would you like some drink?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, great, great. This is going to snap his fingers to let a servant in.
Okay, one of your herd is ushered in, and of course, Astartes, you don't know that's a herd member. You just know it's someone is brought forth, and you are given a little bit of privacy. The vitae is sweet, delicious. As you drink it, you are call forth old memories of serving aboard the workstations of your father and the trade houses, and the beast within you clamors to keep drinking. Keep drinking. So you have to fight it off. So how much do you want to take?
Just 2 blood points.
Right? You take just enough. She starts to stagger against you, and her knees begin to go weak so you have to start holding her up, and you realize it's time to stop. You take your fangs out with great reluctance, and clean her up, and allow her to totter off to her bedchamber.
I tell one of my servants to give the servant some medicine and red wine to help her.
And I take note of that. And I smile in appreciation. So, Decius, I'm not gonna take much of your time, but I'm not here on a social call. I've done some digging around, and I feel like I need more information on Kindred, on the movers and shakers of this city. And I find a certain vendor very intriguing. I would like to know more about her. Just normal stuff, nothing that you would have to go out of your way to provide to me.
Okay. And
The vendor in question is, I believe her name was Alithia.
yes, I do know her.
So, what can you tell me about her?
Well, that's a bit dry way to start the conversation. So let me ask you a question before answering that. What would you like to know about her? What is it so suddenly that's been interesting about her?
I have reason to believe that I've been doubting my stance in this city that by being non-political, I would be freed from the machinations of the jihad. But as in case of Gosar, it showed that I need to take a position in the city, otherwise I might end up just like him. So I'm trying to see where I should stand, with who I should stand. What are my options in the city?
Oh, well, if that's your intent, which I must say that it is a smart decision to take a stance that is not neutrality. But if you are considering who to stand with, I assure you that Ventrue is indeed a good decision to be made. Alethea in person? What can I tell you about her in general? Out of character, Chris. If I do recall correct, Alethea was a warrior, right? She was pretty good at fighting, not so much interested in politics. That's what I recall.
Well, I just hit her character sheet, and you guys should be seeing it right this second.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can scroll down and read the whole thing, but
Yeah. I just need to check if she was a warrior indeed. I
oh,
think so.
yes, she was definitely a fighter.
Yeah. Alethea, it is known that contrary to the common proficiencies of our clan, she is more warrior than a politician. She is still a politician, do not get me wrong. It's just that she certainly has a lot of skills in fighting and the art of fight. She is honorable. But that shouldn't be a lot of surprise for the initiated of the kindreds in Rome. I honestly don't have much negative things to say about her. No, overall, she is a good ally to make. You can trust in her, and if she owes you a favor, she will do it.
But does her honor extend to other people of other clans, or just those of the Ventrue?
Well, there is no value in honor if you keep it specific to one group of people. No. She has honor to her word, to her promise. She has honor to the deals she makes. She has honor to herself. Now, what that entails, I cannot answer that. You will have to speak to her yourself, see what kind of a person she is.
Okay. And do you know what she likes, what her favorite pastimes is? If I want to introduce myself, I will need to make sure that we have something in common so that we can start a conversation.
Something in common. See, I don't interact a lot with Alethea. She and I don't have common interests most of the time, so we often have separate social circles. But based on her fame, I can certainly say that if you wish to speak with her, you could take a more direct approach and go to her temple. She is, after all, dedicated to a certain figure in the pantheon. We could start from there. Theology, religion, that kind of stuff. Esoterics. Philosophy, maybe she would be interested in it. I personally wouldn't assume that, but you can test your luck with philosophy. Your probably highest chance is simply war, no matter how boring it is. You could try to approach her through the tactics of a general or the honor of a warrior having a duel with an admirable foe, stuff like that. Or this most often works with nearly all of our clan. You could simply approach her with a opportunity, a deal.
I've heard some interesting rumors about her. I was wondering if you know whether they were true or not. I heard she and my blood brother Gulzar, may he rest in peace, had a little feud with each other. Was that correct?
Does Theseus know anything about this, Chris?
Roll your intelligence plus politics plus contacts. This would be your Odysseus is a social creature.
Yeah.
So we'll say diff 6.
Okay, intelligence plus
You need at least 2 successes.
politics. Where is it? Oh, here. Let's check my. Yep. Would my status or fame help here?
No,
Okay.
but if you have contacts, they'll help.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, there was some argument. You're not sure exactly of the details, but Gulzar and Alethea had a ongoing thing about something about falcons and falconry. You're not sure of the details, but it was considered to be a little bit odd behavior because of Alethea, though, being a somewhat untraditional venture for the area. Yeah.
Okay. Astartes. I did heard some stuff. Very superficial stuff. Don't get your hopes up. Or something like that. But I did heard that they did have some questionable interactions between each other due to falcons. But there wasn't a lot of detail about it, in the rumors I listened. So that shouldn't be really a big thing. These kind of small conflict of interest always happens in Rome. This is a big city with a lot of kindreds. It's very likely that you will stumble onto someone who has same interest as you, but stands against you, or at least stands as a competition. Everyone has that problem.
Okay. And do you go on?
Sorry for interrupting you, but do you perhaps think that Alethea was involved with what happened to your brother?
I don't know. I'm just investigating. Just want to know how far she was involved with everything. How far she will go. I'm not drawing on conclusions right now. Just see if I can get to know her better. See if I can judge her character.
Listen, Astartes. I understand that you have to get answers. But just be careful, because if you get too much involved with the embers, stuff might catch on fire.
I know what you're talking about. That's why I'm just trying to get information to see what I'm getting into before I act.
Okay. Well, if you truly want to investigate to its fullest extent, I suggest that a direct confrontation with her, Letia, in the Princess Bathhouse would be a nice opportunity to see some things. Princess Bathhouse is always a safe haven to those that's in it. And while in there, Letia will be restricted in what she can do to you directly or even supernaturally. And as long as you keep yourself subtle enough, you might get some glimpses of, well, how she might be involved in anything.
But there's one catch. That protection only extends in the bathhouse, not outside of it, so I think I'm better off getting more information about her before I confront her. I like to be prepared before I delve into something.
Do you have any suspects other than Aletia?
There's another one. Yeah, he might also be involved, Feleronius, because
Oh.
I basically destroyed his argument last time during the trial, so he might have reasons to seek revenge upon us.
Well, he was most certainly annoyed by your conclusion in that trial. I wouldn't make it past him to say that he will try to get revenge on you after something like that. But if his involvement is purely based on revenge, then you probably won't get a lot of stuff from him. I can tell you that. You probably won't get a lot of stuff from him. He might have given some tips, some knowledge to anyone involved, but no direct involvement, no directly taking part in what happened to your cousin. I don't think Valeronius is that kind of a kindred.
Then I take your word for it. On another note, Decius, how do you feel if I bring forth a proposition for you?
My ears are always open, and my door waits visitors. So please go forth.
If I may inquire, what is the nature of all your businesses and what direction does it take?
It's the nature of my businesses.
Your the business you have, because you see, mine has more of a farming business. My father used to own farms outside of Rome, and that is the nature of my income. But it's limited source, and I want to expand a little bit more. See
Yes.
what we can work together, what we can find.
Well, I have bad news for you. Sadly, I'm involved in the entertainment business, so farms are sadly not at all a variable in what I do.
What about more the political scene? the more the power structure of Rome during the daytime. Do you have influence in that?
I have influences here and there.
Because recently I've acquired a ghoul, a Roman ghoul. His family has been down under luck lately, but I see potential in the family and I would like to help them along the way. But my status as an outsider here in Rome and most of my dealings being outside of the city, uh, the help that I can provide is only limited. And I would like to negotiate with you, see what we can, if we can come to an understanding. If you help my goal, I don't know how you can help me. That's why I'm here to discuss it and see where we can go from there.
You see, I would first need to know about your ghoul, whose his family is, their name. I would need to research their backgrounds. The positions in our society is important before I can truly decide if I can help you or not.
That's understandable. It's the Clominus family.
What family? Sorry?
Clominus.
Hmm.
See,
Can you write that? Okay. Do I know anything about this family, Chris Clominus?
Yes, you do. Very famous family.
Okay. What's their deal?
They are a branch of the shoot. I'm trying to remember the exact gens they were on. Um, the Clovia gens. So the Scipios and the Clovians were the two biggest families in Rome, and the Clominus family is a smaller offshoot. Why am I blanking out on the word? A plebeian offshoot of the original family. And very
And
much the same way that Sulla, I think he might even be of a related branch. Cornelius, that's
Clominius.
yeah, Cornelius family, Clominius, Cornelius, and there's a couple others that all were kind of subfamilies of the main patrician family.
Okay. And can you type the name of that patrician family? So I have it right. It's Claudia. Okay. And interesting. And this Clominius family, their political stance, what is it?
What do you mean?
Like, do they favor the, do they favor the group that I've been having trouble with, or
Can't say because they're a huge family with a distinguished and deep Roman background. They've had more consuls than any other family, almost. They had deep ties with Gaius and Tiberius Gracchus, but at the same time, they also had some rivalries from that. So it kind of varies.
this Clominius? Okay. They are powerful then.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. My intentions for this family is that some of them be gold, but I want to raise the family over generations after generation to make sure that they are loyal to the family. And if you cool some of the main heads of the family, you basically have the whole resource of the family at your disposal. That is my long-term plan for this family.
Right.
And by telling you this, I'm offering it to you as a shared resource because the family, if we can achieve what we want to achieve with it, if I can achieve it. Are you
And what
interested in joining?
what do you want me to do? What do you expect from me?
First off, my context is more in the business world, but you have context with our Fantru. You have context in the living world. And I want to support the family as much as possible. Help them grow stronger, more powerful. Because the stronger the family, the more powerful we become if you join. More resources we have at our disposal.
Sartus, if you ask me, you did not Gould them yet. Do I understand that correct?
Just one member of the family right now.
Is it a high-ranking family member, or is it just someone not so important?
And I just smile at that. I will provide that information if you give me your word that you will think about it.
No, I my answer. Astartes, Ghouling powerful families for intention on what's the word for it? I do not want to sound harsh, but leeching off of their resources. That is a viable option, but there it is a delicate. It's a delicate work. You need to be very careful. Wrong mistakes, and it leads to a chain reaction of bad things happening after bad things. And that leads to a lot of people, including kindreds, getting angry. I'm not necessarily talking about Masquerade Breach here. I'm talking about many more intricacies. I am not interested in such things. I don't do my work through that kind of manner. So I will have to decline your offer.
Okay, no problem. But thanks again for the information, Alethea.
Oh, it was nothing. That's kind of information you can really find if you ask any kindreds.
But
Uh,
that might be true, but you're one of the only vendor that I trust in the city at this moment. So I hope my trust is not misplaced.
Listen, trust is important, but you need to put more effort into the politics before you can truly decide on who to trust or not. Even right now, you do not have enough experience. Take it slower. Be thinking twice before making any decisions. And especially focus on who you wish to make enemy in the future and who you wish to not make enemy. And if any group approaches to you with promises of something better, do not take on their offer. Prince Camillus sees and hears and reaches far and far.
I'm well aware of that.
Great. In that case, I trust that you won't do anything. I don't like to use this word, but I trust that you won't do anything stupid and cause a very big problem for yourself.
No, you can trust that I'm always the patient one. I like to get all the information I can get before I can act. So I won't act hastily or do something that will dishonor my name and my clan.
Okay. Well, that's great. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
Nothing else, but it was nice talking to you, and hope in the future that we can speak again on more pleasant things.
Any kinds of politic talks is pleasant for me. You don't need to worry about it. In that case, let me take you to the door, and maybe I can inquire on how my coterie is doing. We didn't really interact it a lot the last few nights, so I honestly have no idea what they are up to at the very moment. I hope they are fine and safe.
And I started perks up at that. Can I join you? Because I would like to get to know them a little bit better too. Can I join you?
Oh no, did I give the wrong impression? I'm not going to meet with them.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you if you had seen my coterie and how they are doing so far.
No, I haven't spoken to them lately. But I can go check on them. I have nothing to
Well, I leave that decision up to you. The streets are not safe. You really should stay in a safe place as long as you do not have to go out.
And I bow and smile. Thank you for your advice. I may be young, but I know when to listen to advice of my elders. And I start walking away. Have a pleasant evening.
You too, Astartes, you too.
Okay, on that note, let's take 10, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. Alright, so we're back. Alright, so Astartes, we'll start off with you. What's your next move? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, there you go. Now I got you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sad. I'm going to go by the group haven see what they're up to.
Okay, roll me a D100, please. You want to roll over a 25. The group haven is just off the Aventine Hill, just out of the worst of it. Awesome. The neighborhood you go through, they're still partying and in a good time. So you make your way there. It's pretty late. It's something like maybe 2 a.m. and everything's pretty quiet by now. You can roll up to the door, and the first thing you smell is there's a heavy smell of smoke coming out of the building. But it appears to be in one piece. It's not burnt to the ground. You can smell smoke.
I cautiously approach the door and see what I see inside. Who I see if I can spot either Albina or Laviana. Let's just ask what happened.
Okay, you come in the outer door here on the left, and there's a man in red with a crossbow. And as you open the door, he points it at you, and when he sees who it is, he lowers it and asks you to stay there. And he goes in to talk to Albina and Labiena, who are busy cleaning their rooms, trying to they're going to take an inventory and such, cleaning out the cellars, and to tell you that that Astartes is here.
As the news is given to her, Labian, in fact, not Labian, Albina is going to be presenting herself outside, uh, not inviting Astartes to come in, seeing not wishing for him to see the status of the haven, the cult.
I think Labiena will join Albina.
Okay, so you guys take him to a sitting area down here in this spot. Some cushions and Greek couches and stuff to sit on and talk.
Good evening, both of you. I would wish a pleasant evening, but judging by the smell, I would say it was an interesting evening. Are any of you hurt?
Physically, no. Although mentally and emotionally, it's never easy to see a place of rest being put to the test.
And Astartes looks genuinely concerned at this moment. But is it safe for you to stay here during the daytime right now? Or do you need aid?
We do appreciate your concern, Astartes, but I do believe that would not be necessary on this occasion.
But Labiana had shared with Albina the idea that the children that she was holding might have been the one responsible for this fire.
Actually, that's a good question. Out of character, was Labiena able to discern that it was her troublesome young prospect?
I think that's a reasonable conclusion. Obviously, there's no direct evidence, but the prison pit holding her friends is open, and all 4 of them are gone.
At this point, I don't think she's terribly worried about that. Probably figured they were more trouble than they were worth. So, yeah, basically, Labiena will bear that in mind and just say, I've basically know who did this, and I doubt it will happen again.
Although a punishment is in order, don't you agree?
And is she's talking to Astartes or Labiana?
She's talking to both of them at this point. She's talking out loud.
I mean, don't get me wrong, if I do happen to see any of them again, then the opportunity for punishment will certainly be a factor.
Do you need help finding them?
I for one would appreciate that, yes. It came very close to claim the life of my child and Hatshepsut. Not to mention this cult that we have been building up for a few centuries by this point.
Speaking of the cult, sorry to interrupt you, but are your mortal members okay? Are any of them injured? Do they need help?
None of them have been harmed to the point where they are no longer useful.
And
Yeah,
at that, go on.
I was going to say, I think we are tending to those who needed to be tended to, but they were all otherwise unharmed for the most part, which we are grateful for.
Okay. And he smiles at that. Abhinav, what do you need my help for? How are we gonna go about this? I'm free for the night.
Well, I believe first you should be made aware of what are the suspects that we have in mind. Would you like to describe them, Labiana? You're the one
Yeah,
that had the
well,
closest relationship with them, yes?
indeed. I was about to say, for my part, I will certainly assist you in getting your revenge on them, for they were my responsibility, and I did let you down on that front. But Labiana will proceed from there to, obviously describe them further, and she would, out of character, I presume it would be safe to assume they probably tried to go back to their former residence, where she found them, or some such.
They
Or at
didn't
the
really.
very
They were
least-
homeless. They don't really have a residence,
Oh,
but
They were homeless, okay. But
yeah, they had
she'll
some
give them
hangouts. But yeah, there you go.
she'll give them a general description and, certain things to expect in terms of temperament and whatnot. So give them general areas the area where she found them and other such areas of high homelessness where they may also have gone to potentially.
So, if I understand correctly, the ones who has done this terrible deed were cult members or former cult members of yours?
They weren't cult members exactly. Let's just say they were. Well, I was considering them for other purposes, let's say.
But they were mortals, right?
They were indeed mortals. They are mortals.
Street urchin.
And they will still most likely hang out together.
I believe there are 10 of them, yes? Led by this girl that you saw, that you had in your mind to give the gift of the blood, yes?
Indeed, she did have potential. May still do, but I think for that purpose, it was going to take more time than I had initially anticipated. Let's just say.
I understand this would be the first child that you would properly be grooming to the embrace, yes? Don't let this failed experiment get you down. I believe she might still be able to be salvaged, while at the same time, her accomplices might yet be punished.
Oh, yeah. Of course, if I were not, the way I am, I would certainly be worried. But, not to worry. This has not obviously affected me in any way. If anything, I've learned from this. And I can use this knowledge to improve my methods in the future. But yes, you are correct. This would have been, or perhaps still will be, the first child I would have essentially prepared for. As you know, my former child was, what would be the word for it? Unplanned, as it were. But I think at this point, I would rather focus on, well, as you said, punishment for what they had done to our haven and what could have happened to your childer and also Hatshepsut.
And these, let's call them renegade for now. How much knowledge do they possess of our kind? Do they know what we are?
Oh, just trying to think how much. I doubt for the amount of time that I had them. I chose not to impart much knowledge at all, if any. At least not until at least not until I'm ready. Or unless until hang on words. At least until I feel they're ready. I think so. Let's just say they hold basic.
So they are aware that we are supernatural, but not what we are, right?
Correct. But I believe, you know, obviously other mortals will see them as homeless, crazy people, crazy children. So,
Okay.
at least for the time being, I believe we are safe.
And I look at Albina. The ball is in your court, Albina. When do you want to pursue them? I would suggest we go right now because we can still follow the smell.
Yes. The sooner the better. There is, however, few preparations that I also wish to get ready for when you capture them. So the punishment to be meted out.
Okay.
Should be quite a trivial matter. Should not take me much time at all.
Yeah, I will wait for you then.
Apna is going to see if she can salvage some barrels from the basement, nails, some hammers.
Yeah,
dear.
I would think you have some of that laying around from various projects.
Yeah. If you can salvage enough for each of the children, each barrel for each of the children, enough nails to nail them shut, then yeah.
Now, keep in mind, nails are not like you go to the hardware store and you buy a nail that's the size of your finger. I mean, these things are like railroad spikes.
Yes.
So,
I think there were 4 children, weren't there, in
yes.
total? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably actually, maybe you found some that you were able to pry up out of the floorboards and joists and stuff. So, poetic. All right. Yeah, so she takes a couple of minutes and she gets some wood. She finds some charred nails and stuff that have, and maybe some that were kind of like stuffed in the corners and things like that. She's got a mallet to hammer them in. You stuff them all in a bag and you come back upstairs and you're like, all right, I got my stuff. So now what?
Chris, one question. I know using Auspex smell, heightened sense and smell right now will not be a good idea, but can I just focus it on just the burnt smell? If I can follow it?
That's a good thought, but you're not going to be able to follow that out on the streets. Just because people burning trash and the open fires, all that kind of stuff is just the smell's going to disappear almost instantly. And you guys would know that. You've all been in the woods. You've been around. Masking a smell like that in the city, it would be it's too easy.
Then Albina, do you know where these renegades stay? They're where they might be at?
No, I do not know the exact location, but I believe searching the spots that Labiana first searched for them would the area that Labiana first found them might be a good beginning. We could also hit up some Nosferatu's contacts, uh, see if they might be willing to trade a few minor trivial wounds for aiding in locating these renegades.
Are they worth a boon?
For
And a
me,
boon to Nosferatu?
for me, yes.
Okay, it's up to you. So, did we get the location from Labiana?
Yeah, it was a one of the big forums. The forum Venalium. The huge, it's a huge forum on the Palatine Hill. The home of thieves and rogues and cut purses at night. Lots of cheap goods and stuff going through there. During the day, it is the single busiest market in Rome. So it's rather sizable. Wits and politics, please, all three of you.
Me as well.
Yep. Difficulty 6.
Okay.
I keep forgetting to back in by politics.
Astartes, not enough
Politics.
successes, unfortunately.
They said diff 6, yeah?
Yep, all but not enough successes. Labiana, that is enough successes. Forum Venalia has been claimed as Coteries' domain.
Oh,
Do you know what Coterie has claimed it?
Labiana does.
of
It-
course Labiana would impart this knowledge.
Yes, it is a group of Canaanites. And with 3 successes, she knows this. Their patron is Gaius Fabricius. So it's a group of 5 Canaanites, and their chosen patron was Gaius Fabricius, because Gaius has gotten quite a bit of accolades for that. Decius would also have known this, by the way.
I'm not there.
Is that information is made known? Albino, you suggest first speaking to these guys. If they are going to be hunting for prey in his stuff, it would be good to get his permission first. Should also suggest stopping by Decius and offering if he'd like to tag along for his political acumen.
Okay. Well, it's going to take you a few nights to arrange a meeting. You send some messengers back and forth. They have to wait and see if they find somebody they know, so on and so forth. And then you pass words back and forth, negotiating the appropriate time and place. And eventually, you guys agree about 3 or 4 nights later to meet at a small wine bar that's just inside the forum. They make sure it's going to be emptied out, of course. There will be no witnesses to oversee this. Decius, are you there or not? This is up to you.
Oh, I was muted. So what do you guys tell Decius? How do you approach to him?
Agna is going to approach Decius and tell him that the Cold Haven has been sabotaged. They are planning towards hunting the saboteurs behind it, but they have the reasons to believe that the saboteurs might be hiding within the domain of another coterie. She asks Decius would like to be present with them when they go to meet the patron of that coterie and organize a arrangement.
And who would be these people that sabotaged the Kutri Haven?
Some street urchins.
Some children.
That is correct. Yes.
Are you asking my help to hunt down some children?
No, I ask your help to negotiate with the patron Gaius Fabricius and his coterie assistance in hunting down the children.
Okay. What do I know about Gaius Fabricius?
Powerful venture. On the Road of Kings, he is a rank of tribune. 5th generation.
Okay. And what's his relationship with our patron?
Your patron. So Alexander tries to stay mostly neutral, just because he doesn't. He's in Rome. Okay, Alexander is in Rome because there's really no other place to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Rome is like a metropolis compared to everything else, right?
Yeah. Athens is on its way out. It's old. It's tired. It's not producing a lot of world class talent and discussion, but Rome is. That's why he's here.
Yeah.
He engages in politics to the minimal amount that he must. Gaius, however, is heavily involved in politics and, in fact, has an ongoing rivalry with the prince of what will become Marseille in France. So he's actually pretty heavily involved in politics and has takes great pains to be involved with the Roman diplomats and anyone who has business in northern Italy and southern France.
Okay. Sounds good enough. Well, Alpina. His name was Gaius, right? If I recall correct.
Yes, Gaius
Gaius.
Fabricius.
Gaius. Okay. What would be his title?
His title would be Tribune of the Scions.
Tribune of the Scions.
Yes.
Scions. Gaius. Tribune of the Scions Gaius.
Yes. Or
Okay.
Tribunata, or just if you want to use a little more modern English, just call him my lord. But
Okay.
that's not technically his title, but it's close enough for what we're talking. So
Okay, yeah, my lord makes it a bit more simpler and quicker. Good enough. Well, Tribune Gaius is certainly someone we can negotiate with. It's been a while since we did stuff together, so I think I'm going to come with you, and I can try to be the middleman to arrange this deal between you two. Do my best to make sure that you are getting the least amount of cost out of this deal. Let's put it like that.
Thank you.
So yeah, Decius is going to join the group.
okay, Astartes, since no Albina, roll a D100, please. You want to roll less or want to roll over a 25?
Can I make the roll? Okay, it's fine.
She's all over it. You guys are a large and strong group, and everyone steers well clear of you. You make your way to the Forum Finale. The Forum, of course, as always, is very busy. People loading and unloading goods for getting ready for tomorrow. Wagons and pulled by donkeys and oxen everywhere. The smell, of course. There are lots of people, shouting out, "Oh, knives, clothing, the finest handkerchiefs in all of Rome." Everyone trying to get in your face, shove. There's people selling medallions and fake cures and anything and everything that you think you might want to buy. Just about, you can pretty much find here if you know where to look. And there's also a fair share of criminals and murderers and the occasional less desirable people here. But as I said, you guys are a strong, armed group, and those who are accomplished at reading such things can see that, and they steer clear of you.
Okay, that's good enough. So we have a appointed meeting location?
Yes, there's a wine bar that they have cleared out for you, that they're meeting you. Gaius has said he's going to meet you with a couple of his clients to talk.
Okay, sending his clients. Okay, good to know. But the possible favors you are going to owe is to Gaius, right? Not to his clients.
No, it's going to be to his clients, because it's their domain. He's just their patron.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty much playing the same role there that you are playing to us.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. And we do not know which clients are coming to meet us.
No.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Okay. You guys roll up to the wine bar, and Gaius is there. And if it will pop up, come on, roll 20. That's basically what he looks like. And a Ventru by the name of Proculus Fukina is there.
Proculus Fukina.
Yep. He is also there. Does anybody have Auspex 5?
Auspex 5, holy shit.
Nope.
You.
Yeah, no.
That's a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so those are the
That's a
only
lot
two
of
there.
specs.
Wait, I think they are on the roll 20, so I'm trying to find them.
I don't think I have them visible yet for some reason. Anyways,
No, they are visible.
so anyways, there
found
you
them.
guys go. That's the two that are waiting for you.
Okay.
They're sitting down. They're casually talking back and forth a little bit. As you guys walk up, though, feel free to make perception and awareness rolls. Difficulty
Okay.
6.
In this interaction we are going to have, we will be addressing Gaius Fabricius, right?
Well, to start, yes.
Okay. Awareness?
Yes, awareness. I see a 160 and a 1. Yeah. Decius, you're like, it'd be kind of stupid if nobody was watching us, but you can't really pick anything out.
Yeah, someone's probably watching. I cannot see them, so they're doing their job good.
Yeah.
It's always best to assume that someone is watching you.
All right. Well, if anybody else makes a Stardust, same thing. It's just kind of like, they should be watching us. I don't see anybody. I don't sense anybody, but all right. You guys come up. You let yourself into the back area. There's a guy at the front keeping the curious out, and they're like, "Hey, come on in." And there's no windows. There's no like shutters here. It's literally just an open area. And you see a whole bunch of clay jugs, and people bring their own cup. They fill up. They give the coin, and it goes in a lockbox behind the stone. Pretty simple, easy. No real seating or nothing back here. This isn't a place where you come and drink with your buddies. This is a place where you come to get your shit and you walk away.
Yeah. So I assume we approach to them?
Yeah, you come in. They've got a
Yeah.
couple of little stools. They sit down. It's the two of them sitting there, and they look at you. They're like, "So you
Yeah.
guys wanted to talk? What's going on?"
Okay. Well, I guess after like taking care of the usual stuff such as greetings and formalities,
Yes.
do you guys want Decius to take the reins, or do you guys want to do your thing and then?
I believe we can present our case first, and if you see opportunity, you can intervene. Yes.
Okay.
Albina is going to be, after the greetings and exchange of formalities, Albina is going to be proposing her case for that. I have reason to believe that a group of mortals that have done harm to my pride and honor have found their way to the domains of the coterie under your care, Lord Gaius Fabricius. I'd like to request permission to hunt them within the domains of said coterie, and I am willing to exchange a trivial boon for assistance in that task.
Gaius just says, "I'm here to provide support. Proculus, if you would like to go ahead and answer her, this is a question about for you because this is your domain after all." And Proculus says, "Thank you, my lord. I appreciate the opportunity to prove myself to you." And he says, Flamina Albina, your name conjures respect amongst those who know it. Your facility with your disciplines and your power with the Abyss is known to a member of our coterie. You are respected and feared. I would ask you to consider something from our point of view. You come to us and you ask for permission to hunt some people within our claimed domain. How would you feel if we came to you and we said, we want to hunt down someone who is hiding within your domain, and we'll just give you a trivial boon just to step aside and allow us to take from you After all, these people, a great many of them look to us for protection from creatures of the night. They look to us to maintain some semblance of order. Do you think that we should simply roll over and allow you to take vengeance and threaten that semblance of order?
The last thing that I wish to do is to disrupt your domain. Understand it is a very valuable domain, one that has been very carefully taken care of and nurtured by you and your coterie. And I have no desire to tarnish its reputation. I am very much open and willing to discuss a more appropriate payment for this assistance, and I am very much willing to defer to to your and your coteries wishes on how this matter should be handled, provided I can have the mortals in my hands.
Well, we are not going to do the work for you. Quite frankly, I don't see that it's our responsibility to hunt down some mortals who rose above their station against you. Now, that being said, I understand that such an affront cannot be allowed to go unpunished. So, if you can agree to some conditions, then I think we can come to a mutual understanding of cost.
Please lay out the conditions that you desire.
First off, during your search, you may not display your abilities or harm anyone in our domain, unless, of course, they attack you first, and in which case they deserve what they have earned. Are you with me so far?
I assume this not harming does not also does not extend to the ones that we are hunting.
If you take them, I would prefer that you take them with some semblance of judicial authority. Perhaps you could imitate a mortal badge, or get some sort of writ authorizing you to act on behalf of a legatus.
I won't be starting a gang war in your territory. I will make sure that the capture is completely kept within normality, modernity in the eyes of the mortals.
Excellent. That is my primary concern, that if the mortals were to see what is going on and then say, think that we were not upholding our end of our protection, it would cause us issues, which would cause you issues, and that's obviously something we hope to avoid, which is the point of this whole discussion. And lastly, well, I should not say lastly, there's two more things. While you are within our domain, we ask that you refrain from feeding. And lastly, there is the matter of boons and cost. Should all of our conditions be met, and you cause no true trouble or harm to our domain or those within it, I see no reason why 2 trivial boons would not suffice. If, on the other hand, we must expend effort to clean up afterwards, then the boons will escalate to a major boon for each action of which we have to clean.
I sense any attempt of deceit or any attempt of what's the word? That trickery on his part.
On top of this, before you answer, Chris, Decius is also curious how balanced, let's use that word, balanced this offer is. To me, it seems pretty balanced, but I still want to make sure.
It's actually very balanced, but Albina, wits plus subterfuge. What the? Really? I'll let you re-roll at difficulty 8.
It might not be so good.
There you go.
Oh,
That's better.
Okay.
He seems smug because he is 100% confident that you're going to fuck up.
Our reputation precedes, I see.
Oof.
It's a very fair offer, so long as you guys don't cause any real trouble. 2 trivial boons. Very, very fair. For them to simply stand aside and let you go.
She's going to wait and turn to Decius for a moment, and the rest of the coterie waits to see if anyone else has anything to say.
Decius will look at her, and by her I mean Proculius, and then look at the coterie. He's like tapping his finger. He's tapping his finger on his like temple essentially as he's resting it on the table on the chairs. What is it called? Guard or whatever you name it. And he just looks at the coterie and then looks at the other Proculius and just says the trade seems a pretty good. There's certainly, well, it is certainly an admirable trade, and I have confidence in my friends. In this case, Albina, it seems like there's no need of me anymore. So I will wish you, gentlemen, my lord, I wish you a good night. Albina, Astartes, Labiana, I wish you a good night as well. And I do hope that your hunt succeeds.
If there is, if we do to capture these escapees through means of subterfuge by presenting a writ of the tribunal, writ of the arrest, it would be beneficial to not have the face of someone that they would recognize being the presenting it. I believe on you or one of your ghouls would be most capable of that. Yes, Decius?
Does this use have the means to actually provide a symbol like that right now?
No, she's not talking about provider. She's talking about actually presenting it to them when they go to capture the mortals. Because the mortals knows the face of Albina and Labiana, so I imagine they would not come willingly if they got presented the writ.
Oh, okay. But like, do we have anything to show once we find the children, or are we going to show a badge? Is that the plan?
We do not yet have it, but I believe this is something we can get our hands on.
Yeah. How long will it take for me to get my hands on something like that?
Not long. They're you're not going to get a genuine one, but they're pretty easy to forge because it's not like these people are literate. You know, it's not like they're going to look at it and go, "That's fake."
Okay. Of course. do you know what? I will let. Let's see. Yes, I'm going to let Lucius stay with you, so that you may, how to say it? You may introduce him as man with authority, or whatever you want to call it. Lucius, follow Albina, and once she needs your help, be ready to do what she says. Okay?
Yes, Dominus, of course. And Lucius goes to stand at Albina's side.
Great. Okay. Well, Albina, you can use Lucius to intimidate the praise, and then force them to comply. The papers you need, I'm going to make those things ready.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. And then Decius leaves. Decius, by the way, has about 15 humans or something, like he bribed essentially, to just go around him. You know, like in the Rome TV series, how some characters have like bunch of
It's
humans
your
around them.
entourage. Your entourage.
Yeah, yeah. So I will go back to my haven after doing that.
All right. So the trivial boons are going to apply to the trio, not individually, but as a trio. So it could be called against either of you, any of you three, but only once, right? And of course, if it escalates, same conditions apply. 2 trivial boons. All right, I'm just writing that down so I have it recorded. And the agreement is struck. The hands are shaken, and the two of them fade away, and people begin to come back to the wine bar. As obviously the people who have took it over have cleared out, leaving you guys in the forum, Vanalia, to talk.
I believe we should begin your hand.
How are we going to go about doing this?
Would there be, would anyone have any contact that would be used to tap for this? Or any influence that would be used to tap for this?
I mean, that's all up to you guys. Do you have contacts? Do you have allies? I mean, what's your strategy here? Are you just going to wander the streets and just look under every nook and cranny till you find them? I mean, it's a viable strategy. It's just going to take a while. Am I coming through?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm just like, I don't think Labiena has any contacts that may be useful here.
Backgrounds, guys. Backgrounds. Invest some XP into them.
I'm looking in something. Hold on. Let's see if I can find what I need.
Your sugar daddy Ventru is not going to be with you all the time.
Chris,
Yes.
my business manager, cool. He has contacts. Does those contacts extend within Rome itself that we can use?
Is this your original one or the new guy that you got?
The original one.
Most of his contacts are spread up and down the coast. So not going to be of too much use here in this situation.
What I could try doing is using resources to try to bribe some information out of people. Or perhaps searching for information amongst trying to trace some other boons with Nosferatus to try to search for information with them.
Do you want to trade more boons? I
Yes.
feel this little escapade is going to cost us a lot more. Because right now we have 2 potential major boons hanging above our heads.
I am willing to take the boons personally instead of the coterie, if such is required.
I admire your resolve in this one. I cannot think of I cannot think of anything else, so
Well, you
Oh,
guys can. What we're going to do is you're going to make wits plus legerdemain plus contacts rolls. And if you want to tap allies to help you, it will give you 3 dice. Just tell me that you're going to do it, so I can write down that you owe your ally a favor.
Can I tap my resources and my mentor? My sire?
Tapping your sire is going to be a hell of a good idea. Because she knows a lot of fucking people.
I only fear that she might find this matter to be beneath her. Or worse, she might find that this matter to be beneath me, and might come to look down at me for this.
Seeking revenge on someone who wronged you seems kind of like a Lasombra thing to do. That's just me.
Yes, but coming for someone else in order for her sire in order to hunt down some mortals.
You don't really have anything too much more important going on at the moment, except for, you're supposed to be talking to somebody about Road to the Beast. So, yeah, I think you could probably go talk to your sire about it.
Fair enough. Then yeah, she's going to do it. So if she can get in contact with her, she's going to do so.
Okay, yeah. So you start in. It takes several days, right? You start trying to meet with your contacts, arranging to meet with your sire, and your sire seems to be in a actually particularly good mood lately. Things are going her way. She talks to you about you come in. For the first time in a while, she seems more relaxed. She's not jumpy. She's not she's not exhausted mentally. You come in. She gets up. She kisses you. Says, "Albina, my child, my dearest beloved daughter, please come in. It's been too long."
Kissing her back, Albina walks inside, taking notice of the apparently good demeanor that she's in. Has something good happened? You seem to have your spirits lifted.
Something good will happen. You just have to await the appropriate time to announce it. So, what prompts your visit? I've heard of the unpleasantness that happened a few nights ago, but since you did not reach out for help at the time, I knew you had it well in hand.
Yes. I am working towards getting my hands on the ones responsible for this. I secured the permission of the owners of the domain uh, for me to hunt them down in it. Now the trick is finding the little vermin amongst the anthill that is the forum.
Yes, a direct blow back. Getting revenge so they don't feel that they've gotten away with it. An object lesson, if you will. I approve.
I also have something in mind that I believe is going to help further along the grooming of my future child. The little pest tried to escape, but I think I have something that I can arrange that will, if not break his spirit, at the very least show him what happens to those that try to escape. Be made a good example.
I always knew there was a reason I embraced you. You've always made me proud.
That brings a honest smile for her. Ah, her lips curling as she looks down for a second, looking more like a shy immortal girl than the monster that she actually is. I was hoping you could assist me in the matter of finding them, getting my hands on them. I must admit that my contacts amongst mortal kind has been greatly ignored during my ascension in the path of the abyss, as I focus myself on the ascension in the path of the abyss.
Ah, I see. Well, in the nature of my work, I had to greatly expand my own information gathering methods, and I believe I have someone who can help you. There are several someones. First off, I will send out an abyssal servant. Have you yet learned of how to summon such a obedient creature?
No, not yet. Actually, no, I do have, yes. Eyes of the Abyss, yes. Yes, I have.
Such a spy is among the greatest servants you could possibly have, as far as information gathering. Now, many of my contacts are amongst the Trasteverde, but the young, the homeless, the reckless and greedy that flock to this city often find their way to the populated and crowded forums. And I have several people with whom I can discuss. What descriptions have you to give me for these creatures that you wish to hunt down?
Street urchins. 4 boys and 1 girl. They apparently ran some kind of gang together before Labiana got her hands on them. Apparently the girl is kinda vicious and loud-mouthed one, which is apparently what attracted Labiana to... Oh, 3 boys and 1 girl. Uh, Apparently the girl is quite a vicious and loud-mouthed one, which is apparently what attracted Labiana to her in the first place. Unfortunately, she failed in properly chaining them to her will, of course.
Your sire smirks a little bit, as she's has met Labiana, and she's well aware of her failings at being able to manipulate anyone or anything, really. She says, well, street urchins, unfortunately, are quite difficult to nail down. And she says that completely unaware of your plans to physically nail them down, by the way.
Oh, she's not going to nail them. She has something else in mind for them.
Yeah, crucify them.
Oh, she's not going to crucify them.
Oh, really? Okay, well, now you got me wondering.
I think I have an idea on what you're gonna do with them, but yeah, I want to see it play out for myself.
Let's save that for a surprise. So, she says, but the attitude now, and a description, if you can give it, will be more helpful. I will engage my own servants, my own resources, and get back to you as soon as I have anything.
Of course. Thank you, Mother. I will speak to Labiana and arrange her to prepare a physical description of their appearance.
Wonderful. And you have a plan to take them quickly and cleanly?
Yes, I have spoken to Decius. He is arranging a writ of a tribune, and he has put one of his servants, one of his ghouls, under my care. Once I have the writ and the location, the man's going to come and get them using the writ as to force them to come with him. Once they are within our side of Rome, they are going to be easy pickings.
She nods her head in approval. That's good. Quick, clean. A writ will keep bystanders from interfering. Very, very good. And even better, it frees you up to do other things. You should retire. Focus on getting someone to repair the damage, and I will get back to you in a few nights.
She nods. Thank you once again for aiding me in my quest. Hi. Perhaps you'd like to join me when the time for delivering the punishment is nigh. I think you are going to find it quite inspiring.
No, I think I've had enough of murder and death for a while.
She actually raises an eyebrow at that, looking a bit surprised.
And besides, I have my own surprise to arrange.
Upna nods. And if there is nothing else, she's going to get up, embrace and give a kiss on Emilia, and depart.
Right. So it's been a week and a half now since the festival, and Albina, one night as you guys are hammering some planks into place, you feel your shadow, or what should be your shadow, becomes freezing cold, like an icicle in your mind. And this chilling voice whispers to you of 3 groups. 2 of them near the Forum Vernalia and 1 out in the Trasteverde, of the similar description, appropriate age range, and attitudes. And this chilling voice gives you the information, approximate location, and basically kind of where they're at within a several block radius, 1 or 2 block radius, and then presence fades. That's going to be a courage roll from you for the abyss mysticism speaking directly into your shadow. It's incredibly difficult to get used to. I think it's only going to be difficulty 4, though. I have to double check that. Good enough. You rocked it. You stiffen up, shake off the chill, and do what?
She's going to proceed to gather up the cutlery. Labiana starts the ghoul that Decius putting under her command.
Alright, yes, they gather.
I'm going to suggest them begin the search. Should suggest beginning by the one in the forum. Better take care of that one first, since it's the closest one to the last known position.
Alright. Roll a d100 for me. Okay. Once again, such a large group. You're good to go. You make it to the forum with no issues. You plunge into the crowd, really. Forcing your way through the vendors and the snake oil salesmen and everything else. And push your way to a narrow alley that's actually a little bit warmer than the surroundings because of the way the fires in the cookhouses are laid out. Obviously, this is a coveted spot. And there are many people, probably 10 or 15 people crammed in to this little narrow alley. Huddled under whatever they can huddle under, really. Straight garbage, partial pottery jugs, everything, really. So now you've got to find a way to start sorting through them.
Turn to Labienne and the statue. She's going to ask them if they could proceed. They could assist her in this matter. Labienne is the one that knows them the best, and she also has aspects as does the status. So, like the one the most suited for picking out a face in the crowd.
Of course. I'll know that face when I see it.
Sure.
And of course, because out of the four, she'd obviously be more focused on the girl, because she figures the girl would have been the one responsible out of the four of them.
Yeah, she was definitely the ringleader. Right. So how do you go about it?
So, wondering if we should split up. But then we need to figure out how to send each other a kind of silent signal.
Well,
Like
you're
signal.
facing an alley. It's enclosed in 3 spots. There's nowhere to go.
Okay.
Right, and you can tell there's a bunch of people crammed into here because you can actually feel it's a little warmer.
Yeah, something very important I believe for us to state is that I imagine Labiana and Albans are going to be covering themselves up pretty well, knowing that they do not want to be recognized by their kids before it is time.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah.
do the Thor thing where you throw a blanket over and you just kind of wrap it over your face, leave an eye exposed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd actually imagine that at this stage, Labiana would have to have more than one mask. She'd have a collection of them.
Oh, no doubt at all.
I'd also had this thought that she's obviously going to have to start using gloves as well to cover up her hands. Because they'd be like skeletal at this point.
I just figured your hands were kind of like scaly, just with the skin having gone waxy. But yeah, it's up to you. I mean, the gloves, if you're wearing gloves, they're not like fine, form-fitted, high fashion leather gloves. These things are like
No, just
big,
like
bulky,
basic
big, bulky
material.
mitts almost.
Yeah, two bits of material roughly cut out in the form of a hand sewn loosely together.
Yep. Like a big old oven mitt.
Basically.
So yeah, you're getting some strange looks, but hey, there's a lot of people who come out here who don't care to be seen. So, anyways, yeah, there's still there's people unloading behind you, loading, shopping. You can still hear the cries of the vendors. You hear people shouting at the oxen and the donkeys and the crashing and clanging of stuff getting unloaded, and it's just general very noisy, even though it's late at night and still chilly. So you guys roll up. You're standing in front of this alley. You're kind of looking at the crowd of people in it, and you're gonna do what?
Well, no, not heightened senses. I mean,
Yeah, this is not the
if-
place for heightened
if-
senses.
no, but I just wondered if it was possible just to focus on sight based, looking for someone specific.
They're very covered because of the cold. Like they got stuff on their heads, their faces, like rough blankets, scraps of clothes. They're leaving as little exposed to the cold night air as they can. Of course, people are snuggled up against each other. They got dirty hair across their faces. Like, yeah, you can eliminate one or two right off the bat. Like, oh, that's not it, and that's not it. But you're gonna have to get in there.
Yeah, we figured as much. But I figure if we are, we'll obviously let the person who we gave the badge to take lead.
Okay. Dennis, you're playing your ghoul Lucius. The K-Knights look at him and they're like, "Go forth, make it happen,
Okay.
ghoul."
Lucius will have 4 lackeys or whatever you name it, like hired muscle. This simple hired muscle that's going to be under his command essentially. He has the paper ready.
Yeah, paid it in advance.
Yeah, paid in advance. They are ready. He is ready. The paper is ready. So he will approach the kid, the other guys. They will encircle the kids as well. So there's no room for them to escape if they try to do it.
Well,
he's like very...
the only opening is where you guys are standing.
Right, yeah. And he's very professional, the paper in his hand, he's clutching it, and he's like, yeah, that's the usual stuff, essentially. Like, this is an order to restrain you or something like that. I don't know how this stuff goes
So
in
your
real
men,
life.
your hired muscle, they're like, "Okay, ghoul, make it happen." And your ghoul looks at him and he's like, "Okay, hired muscle, make it happen." So they're like, "Okay, boss." And they reach down and they grab the first couple of people and they yank them up onto their feet. And they slap them a couple of times across their face. And they turn around and look and they go, "Is this him? Is this it?"
Wait. You're escalating too quickly. Wait, just a second. Just a second. You guys have told him the target, right? Maybe
Yes.
that part escaped
Yeah.
me. You guys told him who the children are, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we've given them descriptions and what to look for.
Right. But did you guys point it at specifically the children, or is it just like...
You cannot tell one person from another
Yep.
inside this alley.
We haven't found
Okay.
them yet. So, that's
So
the
we are
goal.
in an alley there's a bunch of people covered. We do not know who are the children. And you guys are like, okay, find the child.
Yes.
Or
To
maybe Albina can remove her face covering and just walk in the alleyway, see to search for the children. The children will try to run, and we have people standing up at the edges of the alleyway, and they will run to those people, and we can capture them then. That also might work. Use
Okay,
Albina
so-
to flush them out.
I wasn't fully understanding the scene, but I do now. So I'm not going to do what did just happen right there. Lucius is going to be like, if we want to do this, we need to be more precise. You need to point me at someone.
she's going to proceed to follow what they suggested that Astartes gave. Very well then. Just come along with me. There is only one entrance to this alleyway, right? This is not a.
Yes, so you guys are right here at the T. Okay, that's where you're at. Here's all the bodies, which I'm getting ready to populate here on the picture. Give me a second. I'm just getting ready to throw a few in there, so because obviously my description hasn't been clear enough.
One question, Chris. How wide is the alleyway? How many people can stand shoulder to shoulder?
A lot, depending on how much they want to sleep on top of each other.
Also, can we kind of immediately see if there are any children?
There's a lot of people in the alley, and there's a lot of cover on top of them, trying to keep warm.
Okay. So nothing immediately identifiable, okay.
So, in this scenario, Lucius and his lackeys is going to wait. They are not going to act yet.
So you got a whole bunch of people sleeping in there to make it more clear.
Could Lucius just go in and start ordering up the people to uncover themselves with his writ, and his lackeys?
Yeah, he can do that. He can be like, approach to the closest person,
Right.
wake him up, and ask, if they seen these children, and then show the paper. Like
More like
he shows
more like rounding them up.
rounding them up. Yeah, I
More,
guess.
no. Or I was just thinking maybe just looking for information first. In the kind of like we're looking for a young girl.
Have Lucius make a perception alertness roll for me.
Okay,
Diff 6.
you guys need to make a decision.
Well, you guys are
Perception
standing there
alertness.
for like the last 15 minutes in game or game time or quote unquote and for like 20 minutes you've been discussing strategy. How do we do this, guys? Let's put our heads together. Do I rouse them? Do I just walk back there? How do you want us to do it? All right, so you got this whole group gathered around the alley talking. All right. You don't feel it, but your coin purse is gone.
My what's gone?
Lucius no longer has
purse.
money on him.
Okay. Okay. Well, his lackeys are paid front, so.
Round them up.
But
Let us make them uncover themselves for us.
but did we notice anyone kind of
Now that was
running
just
away?
him. There's tons of people. and they're like, you know, they're busy. They're like brushing against you, and hey, I'm trying to get through here, make way for the cart, trying to sell you shit. You know, this is like it's a crowded market.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's your guys' decision? What's your order to Lucius, I mean.
Round them up.
Okay. Lucius is going to, with his lackeys, approach to this right here, and he's just going to wake up people. Not violently, mind you. He's just going to wake up the closest person. He's going to be like, hey, get up. I have orders. And he's going to point at the paper and he's going to like, did you see these children? And then describe the look of these children.
Okay.
And he's just going to do that.
So you go to get this person up, and they're like, "Hey, man, leave me alone. What the fuck?" Give me a charisma intimidation or charisma. Give me a charisma intimidation roll.
Okay. Do I get bonus dice for my lackeys?
No, but they're not going to attack you. Not physically, anyways.
Okay. Charisma intimidation.
If it was you by yourself, yeah, they'd probably beat the shit out of you. But no.
Dice for charisma and then intimidation is here. Okay. Ooh, shit.
Okay, so you get in his face. Get up! I got orders. Rah, 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 rah. And the dude's like, "Man, what the fuck? Leave me! I didn't do nothing to you, man." He kind of like swipes, and it hits the paper, and the paper gets knocked out of your hand, and it starts going tumbling down the street.
Okay.
Can we try to catch it?
Yeah, so like it's going down the street, it's getting like knocked, people are like kicking it, you know, it's getting filthy already. A couple of you guys break off, "Oh shit, you know, hey, we gotta grab that piece of paper." Yeah, you can get to it, it's just a matter, can you get to it before it gets trampled into oblivion?
That's the ultimate question.
Give me Dex and Athletics roll, Diff 6, I need 3 successes. One person roll it and add 1 dice for being helped, because other people are jumping up to help you. Astartes. I think you're probably going to be the best guess for that one. Or Lucius, one of the two.
Yeah, Lucius can like help. Or do you want me to roll?
I only want one person to roll. Who's rolling?
Oh, okay. Sure, I can roll. What do you want me to roll?
Dex Athletics.
Dex Athletics. Okay.
Your dice.
Yeah, add 1 dice for people helping you.
Okay.
Labian
set
will
up
help.
my
Okay, add 2 dice.
athletics.
Abner will also help.
Okay. It's going to be 3 dice. And then I have that, which makes it that much. Okay.
All right, about 10 feet down the street, you stack the paper up. It's pretty filthy. It's a little bit torn. It's got a big footprint on it. It's got mud on it, but it's okay. You can brush the crap off mostly, and it still pass.
Yeah.
You turn around
enough.
and
See a bunch of kids running.
no, you don't. You don't see anybody running or moving.
Okay.
Albina, I need a perception alertness roll from you.
Can I use willpower on this?
Do you really want to?
Yes.
Sure, go right ahead. Okay. Not only is whatever money you had on you gone, if you had a nice piece of jewelry or something on, like a ring or whatever, it's no longer on your hand. You just don't notice it at the moment.
Okay.
They're like, we are like fish
Thieves,
coming
man.
to the bait.
Fucking
I don't know
thieves,
about you
dude.
guys, but if we catch that person, they deserve to be gold.
Yes.
The- I imagine this is like bunch of thieves. They are just brushing
sure
by
about
us, and
that.
like each one of them is taking something. Okay, let's return to the street. Let's be a little bit more direct. Lucius is going to be like, shouting at these people and saying like, "Hey, get up, get up!
Alright.
We have orders and we need to investigate." As he's like that's waking up everyone in the alley.
And I tell Barek Bal to support Lucius.
Okay, so with two big dudes, Elwin in there, and Balthazar or Baltus is he's a big man, big man. The two of you guys, and plus the hired muscle, you begin rousing people. Get up, let's go, get up. By order of the legatus, so and so, get up. We're looking for this person and this person, and like they're going, we didn't do nothing to you, man. Just leave us alone. And you rouse them up one at a time. Going back there, it's obviously causing quite a commotion. Like a lot of people are paying attention to you right now, seeing what's going on. There's actually a crowd now. People have stopped shopping, and they're crowded up against you. What's going on? What's going? You know the term rubberneckers. That's what's going on right now. What's going on? Hey, what are you guys doing? And they're like crowding in against you. Hey, you gonna arrest these guys? You taking them to jail? Hey, can I have their shit? What's going on, man?
I'm mission. Lucian is mission oriented, so he's like investigating these people in this alley and trying to find the kids among them, essentially. Like making people, open up their masks or whatever
There's
they
no
have.
masks. They're just like dirty, covered with crap.
Yeah. So he's like, take off that thing on your head or open up your face and stuff like that. And he's investigating.
Yep. All right. So you do eventually about halfway down the alley. You do finally start finding children. A couple of kids, 3 or 4 kids. You get them up. You're like, and one of each of you has one by the back of the neck, by the hair, and you drag them up to the front of the alley. Astartes, perception alertness, please. And you haul the 4 of them in front of Albina and Labiena. And they're crying already. We didn't do anything. They're already starting to cry. Tears. Stardust, you have no more money.
Oof.
Whatever you brought with you's gone.
I really need to find that guy.
If only we were like a Zmishi with flesh pockets in our body, so no one could
All right.
steal
Yeah.
our
So
money.
you guys bring them before Albina and Labiena, and hey, we got them, and you're holding the 4 of them, one in each hand.
Are these the kid you are looking for?
Alpina examines them.
They flinch away from you when you like grab their cheeks because you're freezing cold hands, and it's not them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Labienas will be kind of having a good look from a decent enough distance, but close enough to be able to see.
Alpina sighs and shakes her head. No.
Labien also shakes her head.
Okay. Hey, you kids, bugger off.
All right. Yeah, you let them go. They take off. Take off running. On to the next one.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, seems
On
so.
to the next one.
And if I like see an old man or something, clearly an old man, I tell them to leave this alley and come back later, like after this thing is done.
An old man.
Are they like an old man here? Is it?
I mean, it's like people, just
Yeah. Like if I see someone not fitting the profile, I tell them to leave the alley so it leaves some space. That's my goal.
well, the second group is not in this alley. They're away from here. Other spot.
Okay. So yeah, I move on then.
Okay.
In any case.
You guys you head out. You keep walking down the alley. Eventually, one of you spots something. You're like, hey, I might like to buy that. And you start patting, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, Lucius, you're like, hey, dude, that's a cool hammer, man. I should get that for a gift. I'm gonna buy that for myself. And you reach for your purse, nothing.
Gone.
Yeah. That sucks.
And that's when the rest of you guys start looking like holy shit.
At least when we have no money, they cannot steal anything from us.
That was what I was thinking.
They stole more than your money. They stole your pride.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you guys head to the second one. This time it's just a like ledge almost, where there's a shell of a building, and so another building's been built on top of it, and on top of this old one, and so there's like a tiny little man-made cave that's only 2 or 3 feet deep, and it's pretty low, about the height of your knee. So you'd have to lay down on your belly and crawl into it. And there's 6 or 7 people under there, and several stray dogs.
6 or 7 people and
Some stray dogs that have also gathered under there to lay with them.
okay, yeah, that's a problem.
I'm gonna ask Lucius to round them up once again.
Okay. Yeah. Does the stray dogs look like dangerous kind of breed?
Yeah. Stray dogs
Okay.
are always dangerous.
Okay. Lucius will turn like at Albin and say those stray dogs are going to be a problem.
She looks around for a second as she looks to be in thought. We could arrange some meat for them to distract them.
With what?
At
We do
least-
not have any
yes,
money.
Exactly. If that was not the issue. She, um, she's going to say, this person down the alley. She's going to tell him to get the dogs under control before you round up the rest.
Why are you going to say that?
The Lucius.
Oh, okay. What are you asking him?
To wake up the nearest people on the alley to get the dogs under control before he rounds up the rest.
Okay. Who's the closest? Like, is the closest person in the alley away from the
Okay.
dogs?
It's not an alley. It's just like a long, low. Imagine if you're walking along the street and you know a retaining wall, right? That's about knee high. And imagine if there was a ledge on the retaining wall that left a spot underneath it that you could crawl under. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's obvious this wasn't planned. It just kind of happened because of the way stuff was built. Right?
Yeah. And the closest person that is away from the dogs, how far away are they?
They're curled up with them.
Okay. So there's no way of waking someone without, getting the attention of the dogs.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
The best
Just-
thing in that case is for Albina and the rest of the vampires to stay away.
Exactly.
The problem is that, boss, he, and I point at the big guy, who's the bodyguard of Astartes, and I could stand and fight if the dogs get riled up. I'm not sure if they will stay. I make a mimic towards hired muscles.
I was gonna say maybe we just send the hired muscle in for this one.
Okay. Hey, boys, is that your order, boss? Do you want me to send them?
Those
I think. What were you going to say, Albina?
I was just going to ask if there's anyone who gets good with animals.
Silence seems
Yeah,
like a
it's,
no.
silence means nobody's good with animals.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Okay. Well, orders are given. Lucius is going to turn to the hired muscles and is going to say, "Hey, you four, approach and wake up these, and then he's going to point towards the people sleeping."
All right. So the four of them go out, and the first guy, he takes the ledge, reaches under, and he just reaches out and he grabs one of these dogs by the back of the neck, the scruff of the neck, and he just like clamps on, and you see his muscles pop out, and he yanks it out, and you hear the dog, "Yip, yip, 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 yip," and he just like grabs it and just tosses it away from him. And the dog goes flying through the air, stumbles, yips in pain, and it gets up and try and limps away. Unfortunately, the other three aren't quite as smooth. Second guy reaches underneath to grab it, and he kind of like disturbs the dog, and the dog clamps on his hand. And you hear him go, "Son of a bitch!" Ah! And he starts yanks his hand out, and unfortunately the dog lets go, but he's bleeding freely. Now his hand is bloody. The other two reach under and they get a hold of the dog, and they go to drag the dog out, but it starts fighting them real hard, and they're like, "Oh God!" And they're like having trouble yanking the dog to get it away. Now that's all four dogs, and the people are waking up like, "What the fuck's going on, man?" You hear them kind of chattering a little bit, rolling, moaning, groaning, because they've gotten woken up from sleep.
Yeah. At this point, Lucius and if Astartes' bodyguard follows, they will essentially start approaching towards the people as well, to join the fray, essentially, and maybe get control of the situation. I'm gonna ask the big person too, if he can help the tree guy with the dog.
Right. Well, two of them managed to get the dogs out and like throw them down the street. So now there's only one guy left that's struggling with the dog. But the inhabitants are starting to roll out from underneath, and they look mad.
Okay.
Like, "Leave us alone! We didn't do nothing to you, man. The hell's wrong with you?"
Okay. I will point or take out essentially the paper, holding it clenched in my hand. I'm gonna it's right next to my face essentially, or a bit front of my face rather. I'm gonna I have orders to arrest or something like that. These blah blah persons, and then I will look for the kids,
Right.
if they are among them.
So the guy that got his hand bit, as people roll out from underneath, you see him ball his fist up, and he pulls back. He's getting ready to lay him out. He's pissed off. He's getting ready to lay him out. I need 2 rolls from Lucius. I need a charisma leadership roll, and I need a charisma intimidation roll.
Okay. Charisma leadership and charisma intimidation.
Leadership is to prevent your guys from taking revenge on these street urchins.
Yeah. Question: can I spend willpower on the charisma leadership?
No, because you can't. Willpower effort will not make them listen to you any harder.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice. Oh shit! Okay.
All right, yeah. So he pulls back, and you're like, "No, no," and you give him the old You don't strike unless I tell you to strike. And he's like, ugh. And he unclenches his fist and like grabs his hand like, fuck, that hurts. And now the intimidation roll.
Okay.
I was gonna say we should probably wrap
Then
that up.
Butterball also roll for the intimidation.
Is your ghoul helping me?
Yes, he is.
Add 2 dice.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be the last thing for the night, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yep. Okay.
Wait, you have no intimidation?
I have 2 intimidation. Look at the ability.
I had a dice full of 6 in that then.
All right, so, yeah, they get pretty scared, and they basically kind of stand still, and they are not here either.
Okay. Go back to Albina and be like, they are not here, boss.
Proceed to the next one.
Is there a next one?
Yes, there are 3 outside of the forum and 1 in the forum. We're going to 1 outside and the forum 1.
Okay.
So there are 2 places left.
Okay. So, Chris, you say this is going to be the last roll,
Yeah.
so are we fast
Do
forwarding?
you guys want to do that tonight, or you want to save that for next one?
I'm okay with both.
I'm open to anything.
I'm open for anything.
Will there be... I suppose it depends on how much time it takes to do the next one.
5 to
If
10
we
minutes
can do
unless
it-
something goes horribly wrong.
So if we
Which
can
might,
get
you
through
know.
it quickly, then
Let's tell you what, let's save it for session 103 because there might be some other stuff going on out there too. Because you got to venture out to the Trastevere, and lots of stuff's going on out there. So,
seems fair.
we're gonna do an XP for everybody tonight. 1 experience. Next session will be October 30th.
Time flies by.
Yeah. That's going to be our annual Halloween game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still sort of putting together the rest of my character.
We've got 2 more weeks. Can relax and just. I did all the legwork. Just got to come up with a nature, demeanor, a few role playing tips, whatever you want, and a picture. Whatever. If you guys haven't filled in your languages and stuff yet, you need to be doing that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'll
Fill in all the
give you a
blanks.
hint. Tell you, Govin asked an extremely important question. So you should be keeping the region in mind when you're filling those out.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It will be funny if you choose like I don't know, if you choose like some Slavic, language, and then you are playing in the Greece, and then
Yeah.
like it
Totally.
never comes to play.
Totally inappropriate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see you guys in 2 weeks. It was a nice, fun session.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you guys
Good
in 2
night.
weeks then. Good night.
Catch up.
Well, okay, guys. Thanks for listening. I very much appreciate it. As I said, the next game is going to be a Halloween session where it's going to be a D&D style Tomb Raid, little mostly consequence-free game. So, hope you guys tune back in for that, and hope you have a happy Halloween. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Good night.